Welcome back to the KO'd Convo, and we're kind of keeping a filmmaker theme for this episode. I know we talked to Spencer Polly last episode, but we got another great friend on here. Went to Ohio Wesleyan with me, and he's making moves in the film and music industry. He goes by TORP, which stands for Thoughts of Relocation Production. He otherwise is known as Will Fairbanks. Will, how are you, man?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good.
See you.
So, talk to me about what you've been up to. I mean, at post school, you've just been grinding nonstop. You had a bunch of music videos.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You're good.
The disrespect, man. People hit me up. I told them not to. I told them I gotta put my phone on silence. Crazy. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so you've been putting out music videos like crazy. You've been putting out these little short films, if you will. Just talk to me how work has been going and has it really been paying off for you?
Man, things have been really good, actually. God's been good. He's been blessing me. I've been, like you said, right after school. Well, it didn't just pop off right after school because, like, even while we were in, like, that last semester last year, I was like planting seeds, you know what I'm saying? I was out in the city shaking hands, kissing babies, if you say, I was out there making the connections, rubbing shoulders, trying to get into the right circles in the right places. And then after school, I was still doing videos and everything for like free. I was doing it free for like at least another 6 months. And then summer came back around. I think it was like summer. Actually, yeah, it was the summer we graduated. And so it was 19. And at that point, all the gigs that I was doing for free a year prior, because I was just doing like party recaps. I was going to these rooftop parties and kind of just like, yo, can I shoot this? And can I put together a promo for you guys? And while I was there, I was also making connections, shaking hands, getting to know people, building my Instagram following. And then that summer, he came to me. He was like, yo, Will, what's your rate? And I was like, what? Okay. Like, that's where we're at now. And even then I was charging very, very low. I think I charged him like $250 for that video. And he didn't blink. He was like, all right, bet, let's do it. And then that summer I shot like 10 of those. And then I shot a bunch of music videos. So from there, it was just like, all right, grind time. And then I was still doing things for the low all through 2019. And then actually just this summer is when things started to shift for me. Because I had never done any marketing, no advertising, no promo until July 2020. I did like a little bit of promo. I was like, yo, I'm doing music videos. And that month I shot like 14 music videos because it was just like people had seen like my body of work, and I was, again, just giving them for the low. And then at that point, I was like, all right, I need to raise my prices. You know what I'm saying? Because I was coming correct. And I'm like, yo, I'm being thorough and I'm getting the clientele. So ever since then, I've kind of been raising my prices, being able to set the bar, do what I really want to do. I'm at the point now, and it's such a short period of time. I was talking to the homie the other day, and he was just saying, he was like, dang, bro, it's crazy how like quick because I told him, I was like, I've been doing like working towards professionalism for like a year and a half, 2 years. And my homie has been doing it for like 8 years. He was like, bro, it just cracked off for me at year 7. And he was like, that's crazy that like you're at that level right now. And again, I just chalk it up to God, and the hustle, so that's where I'm at now. Again, I'm still working to grow. I'm not there yet by any means, I'm not close at all, but we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your rise has been pretty well documented across social media, that's for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And I think what sets you apart is kind of your unique style of shooting. Like you have a very specific style, especially when it comes to like post-production and editing and all that stuff, like the vibrant colors and the different words for like your music video, you know, where the guy's rapping or whatever, and then all of a sudden you'll just include a shot of just the word he says right now instead of him, you know, like backwards or something like that.
Right.
So I think that definitely catches the eye, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you taking note of that. You know, you did your homework. That's what's up, Keenan. I see you out here. I see you, young man. You out here doing your homework. No, but yeah, I definitely see myself as an artur. So, you know, for those out there listening, it's a film term where the director is also the author of his piece. So whatever, like, whether he's working on, you know, a commercial, a music video, a short film, a feature length, anything that he puts his hands on, he makes it his own. That's what an auteur is. Like, for example, like Quentin Tarantino, you see Quentin Tarantino movies and you're like, oh, that's Quentin, right? Or you see Martin Scorsese and you're like, oh, that's Martin every time. You know, same thing with Spike Lee, Wes Anderson, Guy Ritchie. Those are some of my favorite directors. And that's how I see myself. I want people, again, just like you said. So it really means a lot when you say that, because that's my goal, is when people see my work, I want them to see it and be like, oh, like that's Will, that's a Will Fairbanks joint. Like that's TORP right there. That's a TORP piece. And it's wild because I don't put TORP on all the pieces that I do. You know, it has to be like, because at the same time, while I am an artist, and I'll always be an artist, and I'm an auteur at heart, sometimes you just get hired to be hands, you know what I'm saying? And you're fulfilling somebody else's vision, which is totally cool. But at that point, it's not really a TORP production or a Will Fairbanks piece. You know what I'm saying? It might be shot and edited by me, but it's not necessarily directed by me. So yeah, man, I put a lot of thought into my pieces. I make pieces that satisfy my eyes and my senses, you know? So I'm like, I try to make things that I want to see, you know? So yeah, those parts where I throw in, you know, the little animations or bring up the lettering or, you know, just small motifs throughout the piece, like those are thought of, and it feels good to hear you note them and appreciate them. So thanks, bro.
Yeah, as a director, I assume you have to have the balance, because you have some clients that that certainly will give you more freedom than others. How have you been able to kind of balance that out, if you will?
Man, it's actually a learning process, because straight up, sometimes when people come to me, right, these are the things they say. They say, bro, we love the way that you shoot. We love your eye, et cetera, et cetera. So when I heard that in the very beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, green light. You're coming to me because you like what I'm doing. You know, you like the way that I approach the craft. Little did I know that, like, when you start putting it into practice, they're like, whoa, slow down there, brother. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know you was going to go that far with it. And I'm like, bro, this is why you hired me. Like, when you came to me, you knew what you were getting. And I had to learn that the hard way a couple of times, because I found myself hitting my head against, you know, some clientele coming head to head, and them trying to explain to me, which it was nobody's fault. It's just a learning process of, all right, this is your role on this project. And that while they might love what I do, at the same time, I had to learn, like, everybody has their own vision. But now that I've learned the lesson, now I start in pre-production with my client or whoever I'm working with, my partner, whoever, and we start in pre-production. I'm like, all right, what is it exactly that you want? So let's start with the concept breakdown or the script. Even if it's for a music video, let's start there. And then let's move to the logistics. What are we going to need? Who are we going to need? When are we going to need it? What locations? Then from there, it's like, all right, we have the shoot date. Now on the shoot date, again, we're going through exactly what the client wants up to that point and through the production. And then even sometimes on pre-production and editing, I have them right here in the studio with me, and they're like sitting right here, and I'm just like, all right, going through it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And they let me go until they say stop. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, all right, can we throw this in? Can we switch this up? So, and I'm still getting better, bro. Like, keeping it a thou with you, like, I just started doing contracts with people. You know what I'm saying? Because the numbers finally are starting to hit that where it's just like, all right, bro, I need to be able to not only hold my client accountable, I need to be able to hold myself accountable, because another thing that I learned is you'll let it get away from you with edits. Like, you'll send it to them and they'll be like, oh, can you revise this? Da, 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 da. And you get it back and you're like, all right, because I want to do the best job that I can. I do the revision. They send it back. Oh, can we change this? And then at some point you're working for like minimum wage, low key, because you're putting so much time into it. So I've had to learn like that lesson as well, with knowing where I fit, like my true role in the project. And then also I've had to learn the lesson of like valuing my time and putting a number on that, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great explanation right there. Let's just talk about TORP though. What made you come to the title Thoughts of Relocation Productions?
Oh man, okay. So Thoughts of Relocation Productions came to me. Well, it started off with Thoughts of Relocation, and it came to me during a time of isolation and solitude. And it was actually a low point in my life. I was a part of another group called Metal Apes. It was a brand that I had. And essentially we were throwing like crazy parties,
Mm-hmm.
and like we were building a brand. That was the brand. It was, it wasn't necessarily the party, but the whole concept behind it was like, if you build something that's dope enough, you could do whatever you want with it. So our angle was parties, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I saw it like this. If you build it, if it's strong, if it's fresh, they will come. You know what I'm saying? It's like Nike. Nike could literally do whatever they want right now, even though it's shoes. Nike's is shoes, but it's a brand, because they don't just do shoes. They do clothing. They do, PSAs. They do all these different things. You know what I'm saying? And that's my vision on every brand that I do. You know what I'm saying? So even with TORP, now TORP is mainly the focus is film, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me stay on focus. There's a lot more to TORP than just film. Anyways, I digress. It started off, we were throwing parties, back to Metal Age, we were throwing parties. And long story short, it imploded. It got really big, but at that time, I wasn't in the position to maintain its growth trajectory. You know, if something gets too big without a strong foundation, it falls apart. And that's kind of what happened. We threw some crazy parties. We built the brand. You know, I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it got to a point back then where if we had an event, like, don't throw in an event on that day, because everybody was coming to our thing. Long story short, we threw this crazy New Year's party. Things happened at the party that I wish didn't happen, you know. They did happen, and I learned a lesson. Police came, people got injured. There was a lot of people there. And at that point, my team kind of like didn't want to be associated with me for multiple reasons. Not just because we got put in the Ann Arbor News and everything. Like, we got like accused of inciting a riot. It was wild, bro. It was wild. I'll send you the links one of these days. Remind me, I'll send you the links. And I was kind of like leopardized, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got like deemed a leopard because, you know, when something's hot, you don't necessarily want to touch it, you know? It was unfortunate that, you know, the people that I held close to chest as friends weren't necessarily there, but it moved me in the direction that I'm going right now, because, again, I was in a place of solitude. I didn't have many people that I could reach out to. So I spent a lot of time in prayer and in meditation and in thought. And in that, you know, the idea of Thoughts of Relocation came to me. And it started off as a novel idea. So it started off simply as Thoughts of Relocation, because during that time, all I had was thoughts of leaving where I was. you know. So I was thinking about relocating. Where am I going to go? Am I going to go to Chicago? Am I going to go to New York? Am I going to go to Toronto? Am I going to go to London? Like, I was really having those thoughts, because it was just like, all right, nobody wants to touch me here. I got to relocate, right? And so then that is the surface level, you know. I always tell people I'm a Christian. That's my faith. So the deeper meaning is, I think of, when I think of thoughts of relocation, I'm talking about heaven. So I'm thinking about relocating from earth to heaven. So that's where thoughts of relocation came from. And then it developed into, like, thoughts of relocation is for anybody that wants to elevate from where they're at, anybody that wants to progress from where they're at, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, anybody that just wants to be better and has those thoughts, because it always starts with the thought, like, I want to do something better. I want to be. So it starts there, thoughts of relocation. Later on down the line, I'm thinking to myself, I'm also working on a novel. It's called Thoughts of Relocation. It's a 3-parter. And I'm in the middle of the first novel right now. So Thoughts of Relocation is still, in fact, moving in the direction of a novel, which then I want to turn into a stage play, and then I'm going to turn into a screenplay. That's like big time goals. That's like one of my top goals in life, is to make that happen. Later on down the line, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, TOR, like, I'm trying to figure out how to use all of my different talents, because I do music as well, and then I do film, and then I'm writing as well. So I'm like, yo, how do I use all these different things that I'm well at, for one cause? And then it was like, all right, make movies, make films, because I can include music, I can write, obviously, and then it's got the vision that you got to put into things, and it's got the music, so it's got everything, right? And then at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. How can I make this into a brand? And then at some point, like, the productions, the P just came on to the end, and then it became TORP. And I'm like, all right, that fits. It rocks. You know, it sounds dope. It's catchy. You know, I want to do TORP Flicks, TORP Fest, TORP Talks. You know what I'm saying? And it just fit everything, you know? And that's what I've been rocking with ever since.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy origin story. One of the more better ones, I'll tell you that much. But it's awesome to hear where you are now and how that's kind of grown. How the whole, I guess, would you call it a brand now, TORP? Would you say it's?
Yeah, TORP is definitely the brand. It's definitely the brand, bro. It is.
So the brand's growing. One more thing I really wanted to ask you about, and
Yeah, what's up?
obviously really caught everyone else's eye, is when obviously you had the Black Lives Matter protest down in Columbus, and you actually were one of the people who were filming these protests and giving people this platform and all this other stuff. Just talk to me real quick and the listeners about how powerful that perspective was of filming an event of that magnitude.
Man, that was intense, bro. Because when it was all going down, I was warring with myself on if I was gonna go and document it, because all media was showing was like, danger, danger, don't go, it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I got things to do, you know, like, but something in me said, you have a duty to go do this. Like, just, you have a skill, you have a talent, right? And I hate to be cliche, but like, with great power comes great responsibility. It was like Spider-Man, shout out Spider-Man, Toby, what's his name? Tobey Maguire? What's his name?
Well, Tobey Maguire was the first one, but now it's Tom Holland.
Right, but Toby's the OG. You know, he's the when I first heard it.
Toby the OG.
Yeah, he's the OG. So that's what I felt inside of me. I'm like, yo, if I don't do this, if I don't go down there and document this, I'm gonna look back on this years later and I'm gonna be disappointed with myself. And I've had those situations where it was like I was in something and I didn't do something, and I felt it later on. And I'm like, dang, I should have said something. Or dang, I should have moved this way. You know what I'm saying? When I could, the opportunity was there. So I've been living my life as if like, yo, we don't miss opportunities this way no more. Like, if it comes and it arises, yeah, I might be uncomfortable. Yeah, sometimes what I do is work. Yeah, like that's fact. But I'm gonna apply myself because I want to be the man of character that I feel I am. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt obligated to do it. The experience was something. It was emotionally draining because you have all these, and when I'm down there, I'm pretty sure you've seen the pieces. Like I'm in people's faces with the camera, right? As they're giving these passionate, emotional speeches. And as I'm filming, I'm feeling the goosebumps because I feel where they're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Especially being a black man, I totally understand where they're coming from. And they're screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs. And I am a empathetic person as well. So that energy affects me. So I'm right in front of their faces and I'm right up on the cops and I'm right up on, you know, the women crying and the men who are just upset. And, you know, it weighed on me, you know, like I had times where I'm editing and I'm in tears because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, you know, because I was out there for like 3 days straight, 3 to 4 days straight. And then I took a couple of days and then I went like the next week as well. But I felt it was my duty because I saw all the media was saying was, oh, these people are mad and these people have no right and these people are just, their actions aren't warranted. So I wanted to go out there and get a different perspective and get a different narrative and display that and show like, nah, people, it's not violent. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no Molotov cocktails thrown. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no fights. I saw passion. I saw people getting to that level. I saw arguments, but I also saw unity and I also saw love and I also saw a coming together of people that don't look alike. And I also saw, you know, holding hands and like, and that's what I wanted to get across in my pieces. You know, I wanted to, one, shed light on the people who had lost their lives and the struggle. But at the same time, I wanted to present that narrative that like, yo, we ain't out here wilding. Yes, looting and things are going on, but that's a small part that they're showing, you know, because being on there 4 days, I didn't see none of that on the media. I just saw, oh, another Target was looted. Another Wendy's was burnt down. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a lot, bro. But, you know, I wanted it to be like, because that's what TORP is. TORP is a lifestyle, you know. TORP stands for something. TORP is for the people. TORP is the people. And it's like, if all I'm doing is things that benefit me, you know what I'm saying, monetarily, if that's all I'm doing, then it's like, what is the brand, you know? Because we not always in the streets politicking. Like, I'm not a politician. Like, I'm not a revolutionary, you know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe I am, but I don't see myself as that, like, oh, we're up here and this is what TORP is, like, no, my thing is like, I'm a lifestyle. TORP is a lifestyle brand. We're doing all these things. We're showcasing all these different aspects of life. So that's what I wanted to do, you know? That's why I felt I needed to go down there.
Yeah, and I mean, your pieces were so amazing, and just you talk about the passion and the energy, and oh my God, it was something to behold. Well, but yeah, I mean, it was amazing, and we really thank you for the pieces. I know I'm not I can't think enough, but I'm speaking on a lot of other people's behalf. But. Will Fairbanks, aka TORP, it's always great to talk to you, my man. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you sticking around and coming on the KO Convo today.
Yeah, bro, definitely, man. Thank you for having me. I'm proud of what you're doing, bro. I listened to the Daisy's episode. It was good. I said, this man Keen is out here working, bro. He's out here working. So I feel privileged, and it's been a pleasure to come on here, man. And you actually take my voice, you know what I'm saying? So it means a lot to me. And just as much as you're happy to have me on, I'm happy to be on. So again, thank you, my friend.